Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment Breaking News indeed. As the Tennessee Titans fired general manager John Robinson, and this was a headline I was not expecting to read this morning. This is not a headline I was expecting to read this year. This is not a headline I was expecting to read this offseason. Truthfully, 100%. 100%. If you would have asked me, is there realistically any chance that the Tennessee Titans let go of John Robinson even for the next year from today? I would say no. I thought his leash was long. But turns out his leash was quite short. I mean, if you would have told me a year from today, the Tennessee Titans are, let's say, instead of 7-5, they're 2-10. They're terrible. I would say, okay, you know what? John Robinson might be fired after the season. Might. Even then, I'd still say might. I still would say they might give him another year. That's what I would have said, and I would have been completely wrong. His lease was short. And look, Twitter is a very interesting place, especially Tennessee Titans Twitter, especially sports Twitter in general. And, people love to overreact. People always say, fire the GM, get rid of the GM, get rid of the coach, get rid of this player. And it's all crap talk. It's not really going to happen. So whenever people were talking about John Robinson potentially being fired, I didn't pay any mind because to me, there was no chance it was going to happen. But my God, he's gone. Wow. And I can't believe it. And to be honest with you, I'm not happy about it. I think this could end up being one of the biggest mistakes this franchise has made recently. I'm not going to say ever. I'm not going to say ever. I think we're going to be fine. But this is interesting to me. And what I think ultimately what happened here is I think Mike Vrabel stabbed him in the back. Vrabel has been obviously a little heated in press conferences lately, and he's been taking slight digs at the personnel, saying that I don't know why we haven't been looking at more left tackles. I don't know why. I think he's not happy with the fact that we traded A.J. Brown. I don't think he was on board with that. I don't think he likes the way the Jeffrey Simmons contract negotiations have been going on, or have not been. And he is a true former player, and he's a player's coach. So when he sees his players are not being treated well, even though he's a head coach now, I think it started to rub him the wrong way, and I think he made a power play. And I think he's putting himself on the line and saying, I'm more responsible for what we've accomplished than him. You can get me a better GM than him, and I'm still going to win with this team in the meantime. Wow. And this is shocking, as it was John Robinson himself who handpicked him. It was John Robinson who sacked Mike Mularkey for him when he didn't have to. It was John Robinson who caped for him when he was a questionable head coaching hire, as he was a bad defensive coordinator in Houston, and he was. At least he had a bad defense. And he got stabbed in the back. Because there's no way Amy Adams Strunk does this without consulting him, in my opinion. She says, I'm considering doing this. If I do this now, are you okay with this? And I can't believe that we're doing this mid-season. What? As we are 7-5. We were 7-3 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, we were considering, foolishly, but we were considering whether or not we might actually compete this year. Foolishly, but we were considering it. At least I was, for a second. And again, I regret this and I shouldn't have done this. But I was considering for a moment. And now I'm considering, are we headed towards a rebuild? I mean, look, if you're getting rid of John Robinson here, And you fired him before you fired Todd Downing, which doesn't make any damn sense whatsoever. But guess what? Again, Downing is Vrabel's boy. And I think Jon Robinson is no longer Vrabel's boy. The coaches have taken over the asylum, and the executives are in trouble. Wow, what is going on in Nashville? And I don't know how to feel about it. But look, if you're asking me, look, Jon Robinson, look, I think he's a good GM, and he's made some mistakes. Letting go of Jack Conklin to me was a mistake. Letting go, although Dennis Smith, or not Dennis Smith, I'm forgetting his name now. Dennis Kelly ended up doing decent for us at right tackle. I still think it was a mistake. Because he ended up being, he's been injured a little bit, but he was an all-pro again, I think. But he's been a Pro Bowler a couple times since he's left. Letting go of Jack Conklin was a mistake. To me, letting go of Adoree Jackson was a bit of a mistake, especially for his contract. His contract's not that bad. Corey Davis, a bit of a mistake, especially considering the fact that he would be our second best wide receiver right now. And I'm talking about better than Robert Woods, by the way. He has more yards this year than your boy Robert Woods. So yeah, letting go of, and they're on similar contracts. In fact, Robert Woods is getting paid more. So letting go of Corey Davis instead of having Robert Woods is a mistake. But the biggest mistake of all was trading A.J. Brown, and then the embarrassment that we suffered on Sunday. But to me, it's too overreactionary to that game, one regular season game. It was embarrassing. Don't get me wrong. This great player that we had, a potential Hall of Famer, kicked our butts on the national stage. It's embarrassing, okay? It is embarrassing. However, it was only one game, and we're still 7-5. We're going to win what is now going to be our third straight AFC South title, and his record was 66-43. 66-43, that's well above 500. That's well above 500. Last year, we were the number one seed in the AFC. We didn't have our best player for half the season. That means you must have decent personnel that you have built over the last 6 seasons. Letting go of a GM with a 66-43 record is nuts to me. Because ultimately, I think a GM's job, okay, he's supposed to set you up. And look, he did this twice. Now, not this year. He didn't do it this year. This year, we were not set up to win a Super Bowl. I agree, 100%. But the last 2 seasons, we were. So this is what happened. Let's recap what happened. Let's not be overreactionary to this season. Let's think about what happened again here. So he came here in 2016. Immediately, we were competing for the playoffs. After coming off the heels of 3-13, we went to 9-7. Immediately. Literally immediately. The DeMarco Murray thing worked right off the bat. Mariota looked good initially. Then he broke his leg, and then it went to hell soon after. But we immediately were competing. 2018, we barely missed the playoffs. 2017. 2017, we make the playoffs. We get the win in Kansas City. Improvement. With 2018, we missed the playoffs, but I think we had a better record, right? Or maybe we had the same record. We had the same record. We barely missed the playoffs 2018, but whatever. We lost week 17 to the Colts. It was, okay. 2019, Mariota stinks. We switched to Tannehill. Handpicked by Jon Robinson to be the backup. Immediate improvement. We go to the playoffs. We go to the AFC Championship game. Improvement. So of the 3 seasons right now, you're talking about of the 2016, 17, 18, 19. Of the 4 seasons, 3 have been improvement. 2020, we're a better team in the regular season in 2020 than we were in 2019. We choke in the playoffs because of Tannehill. By the way, 2019, we lose because of Tannehill. 2021, we go another improvement in the regular season. We lose in the playoffs because of Tannehill. Jon Robinson, your boy, Tannehill screwed you. We lost because of Tannehill. And we lost because of Tannehill. But of his 6 seasons, And this is now the 7th season. Of his 7 seasons, 5 were improvements, at least in the regular season. And in the playoffs, your quarterback let you down. So that's on you. And you got to own up. You wanted Tannehill. And look, everyone wanted Tannehill. So I don't even want to hear the fan base necessarily. And I'm going to come on here and harp on him a little bit for that because I've been out since 2020. But, at least I was definitely out last year. Last year I was out. So maybe not since 2020, but since last year I've been out on Tannehill. But you were in on him in 2020. You were in on him. We had one of the best offenses in the league. We started out 7-0. You were in. 2 years ago, you were in. Last year, you were pretty much in, and you thought that if Derrick Henry came back in the playoffs, we could win. And then your boy Tannehill screwed it up. So, look, there are things that he's done wrong. He chose Lewan over Conklin, mistake. He chose to let go of Conklin, mistake. Let go of Adoree', mistake. Let go of Davis, mistake. And then the biggest mistake of all, trading A.J. Brown. Mistake, mistake, mistake. He's also done some good things. Rashad Weaver's a beast. Denico Autry's an absolute stud of a pickup. Kevin Byard is an absolute monster. That was his draft pick. Amani Hooker's been really good. That was his draft pick. Andrew Adams has been a very good pickup. It was his pickup. He drafted Nate Davis. He's been better than I ever thought he was going to be. He picked up Ben Jones, way better than I thought he was going to be, better for us than he was ever for the Texans. He did draft A.J. Brown, okay? While we traded him away, he did draft him. He drafted Big Jeff Simmons, who's going to go on and continue to be one of this franchise's biggest faces. He did a lot of good. His biggest mistake was trusting Ryan Tannehill. And let this be a lesson learned to general managers out there. The difference between why we can't let go of an A.J. Brown, but the Chiefs can let go of Tyreek Hill. They have a franchise quarterback, and we don't. And if you stick your name to that average quarterback, it's going to be your butt. 66-43, and he's gone because his quarterback let him down. He chose the wrong quarterback. He should have. Okay, there we go. I'm back. Sorry. You can argue that he hasn't even had his opportunity to get his guy. You can argue that. I think that's a fine argument. I'm not sure that I'm going to make that argument, but that argument, is it still? It should be back. Yeah, okay. So you can make that argument. And I would listen to you. And then this year he drafted Malik Willis. And so far Malik Willis has looked terrible. Okay? He's looked terrible. So it's one of those things where I think it's unfortunate for him. Now, is he going to get a new job? Is he going to be a GM again? I think he will. And not only do I think he will, I don't know what's going on right now in Atlanta. Who's their GM? Is this still who's that Falcons GM? I think they actually just got a new one. Never mind. I think the Falcons they just got a new GM. I was gonna say he might go join his boy Arthur Smith in Atlanta. But we'll see what sort of GM openings open up. I think he's gonna be a GM again. I think with the 66-43 record, I think he's gonna be a GM again. Guys, of his 7 seasons, we will have made the playoffs for 6 of them. Okay, actually, no, for 5 of them. For 5 of them. We missed in 2016 and we missed in 2018. We've made the playoffs for the last 4 seasons. I'm including this season because we're going to make it this season. It's the quarterback that failed. Tannehill failed. Now, he could have got weapons for him, I guess. Sure. Okay. And, one of the draft picks that I really regret, although I guess it wouldn't have mattered now. Yeah, it doesn't matter now. The first round picks have not been great. Now, the thing though I want us to also do and to admit and to say is that we can't be too revisionist when it comes to, some of these draft picks. Because sometimes it can be a little revisionist. Now, the last 2 draft picks have not been good. Okay? The last 2 draft picks or draft classes have not been good. Okay? You're talking about 2020, the Isaiah Wilson disaster. Look, he couldn't meet with him. It was COVID. They didn't know how crazy this guy would be. It was a mistake. We should have drafted like Michael Pittman or T. Higgins. Okay? I actually thought that at the time. I wasn't through it about taking a tackle at the time, but it happened. Kevin Dobb was an absolute disaster. Caleb Farley, up to this point, just can't stay healthy. But we did need a corner, and we took a corner, so you can't blame him necessarily for that. He could have took a better corner. Like, if I go back to this 2021 NFL draft, let me see what other corners we could have taken. There's not many. Look, if you look at the quarterbacks that were taken after Caleb Farley, you're talking about Greg Newsome, Eric Stokes, Tyson Campbell. These guys don't play. Well, Campbell plays, but he stinks. So it doesn't even matter to me. So there weren't any good corners in this draft anyway that were in our draft range. We should have took probably, this was before we had, I think we, this was when after we already signed Bud Dupree. So I was going to say we should have took like Gregory Rousseau here, but I can't even say that because we already had, we already filled the need at pass rush. So I guess you could argue like Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore would have been interesting here. In fact, I kind of wanted Elijah Moore here. Oh, okay. So that you can argue. I think Elijah Moore would have been interesting here in this draft. And I definitely was interested in me. So you can criticize like here or there, but look, the last 2 draft classes, they haven't been great. But and there's been the occasional contract bust. Oh, and by the way, I need to get to some of these super chats. I'll get to them in a second. But again, it wasn't that bad to me. I know it's just gotten frustrating this season, but look, my expectations were calm this season. Look, I get hell on Twitter when I criticize the moves that he makes in real time. I'm the one that got so much hell, incredible hell, for saying that the Robert Woods trade was completely overrated. I was the one that was saying this trade is completely overhyped, that he was going to come in here and be unimpressive and then leave. And then now he's only going to be here for a season, going to get cut. He's gone next year, Robert Woods. There's no reason he should be here under his cap number. So I anticipated this. I came into this season telling you, I don't care about this wide receiver core. Kyle Phillips was good in practice. I don't care. He's a lower round draft pick until he does something on the field. Wake me up or let me sleep because let me sleep and then wake me up when he does something because I'm not going to sit around and believe that Kyle Phillips is going to be so good because he looks decent in training camp. Again, guys, you got to stop with this training camp hype. It's ridiculous. Mekhi Sargent. And I didn't like the Darrynton Evans pick at the time. Look, there's been a lot of picks that I have not liked. But at the end of the day, our pass rush is legit. He drafted Landry. He drafted Simmons. He got Autry in here. And then Bud Dupree, while he's a little bit overpaid, and he definitely is a little bit overpaid, he still adds to the pass rush and makes it dominant and add Big Jeff Simmons to the middle. Taylor Tart, who's been a nice pickup in nose tackle. No name there. We have a very formidable front. The front's been great. Secondary's been good. Great safeties. Not so good corners. Fulton can be good at times. McCurry can struggle. And then we have had injuries to where Trey Avery has to come in there and whatnot. Overall, the roster's not bad. In fact, this rookie class, it looks that decent. I mean, I'm not going to go crazy about this rookie class yet. But Burks looks good and when he's healthy. Chigo Okonkwo looks like he might be a starting tight end. That's, legitimate. And I didn't like the Austin Hooper signing, but it doesn't matter. Now that Chigo Okonkwo is playing well, we don't have to play Austin Hooper that much. And Nicholas Petit-Frere will struggle, but he's a rookie tackle. Is he a franchise right tackle? I don't know, but at least he's playing. Okay, at least he's playing. Unlike Dylan Radins last year. So it's not been great draft classes. It's not. But I then challenge you to look at who's the best teams in the NFL. Now, the 49ers, John Lynch. Okay, he's a beast. He's a beast. They've been doing great things over there, except for Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance. The quarterback position has been an absolute disaster, and that's why the 49ers haven't won, and that's why they will continue to not win until they fix the quarterback. The Chiefs. Wait a minute. They drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Started off well. Now they're playing Isaiah Pacheco. They forgot about Edwards-Helaire. They're not going to pick up Edwards-Helaire fifth-year option. Edwards-Helaire is a bust. He's a bust. For him to be a first-round pick and produce only this much, he's a bust. Does it matter? No. Because they have Mahomes there, and they can throw in, hey, Samuel Watkins. Hey, Juju. Hey, boom. And it doesn't matter because Mahomes is going to get it done. He's going to get it done. So, again, this falls on Tannehill. I'm telling you, man, his whole job was lost because of Ryan Tannehill. And then Mike Vrabel pulling a mutiny. Vrabel wanted him out, and he got him out. That's my theory. We fired this guy before the guy that got a DUI 2 weeks ago. This guy got a DUI 2 weeks ago. He's an awful offensive coordinator, and he is here, and John Robinson is not. If there's anyone that's going to be drinking tonight and driving, it's him. And yet Downing is the one that's going to be having the job. So it's crazy. We're going to get to the super chats. We're going to get to the comments. Add me in the chat at Sports for Entertainment if you want me to address any of your comments. And then we're going to get out of here because this is my lunch break. But man, this is shocking. I am truly shocked at this news. I know a lot of you guys aren't, surprisingly. It surprises me. I mean, I just didn't think there was any chance in hell. And yet here we are. I thought he had a whole nother year left, at least a year and a half, like a year. And I thought he had 2 seasons, the rest of this season and another season before they even would consider anything like this. And yet he's gone. So unbelievable. So Michael Rosario gives a super chat. Thank you for the super chat, Michael Rosario, who says, who takes his place? I doubt we keep the VP after the season. I don't know. And then here we go again. Let me tell you, GM, I don't like doing GM searches or like videos on stuff like that or even discussing it because it's just like you could name almost anyone unless if they're like a TV analyst, you don't know. The only thing that you know is, okay, well, they've been a part of this productive organization. Or, okay, maybe they've been a vice president of player personnel and they've been drafting well. Okay. But then wait a minute. Oh, and I didn't say this, and I should have said this. This is what I would have done because I agree that we should be drafting better. The last 2 draft classes have not been good. I don't think we should have fired him. Guys, I know we love to blame it all on the GM. And for good reason, because at the end of the day, it is his decision, unless if the owner just comes in and overrides it. But ultimately, he is the decision when it comes to personnel. But he's not the only executive in the room. These people have vice presidents of player personnel. They have national scouts. They have regional scouts. What I would have done if I was Amy Adams Strunk is I would have said, we need to shake things up in the draft room. We need to shake things up today. We need to get a number. I would have gone and I would have hired a lower scout, a national scout somewhere for a different team that's been, performing well. You're hearing good things about. I would have fired like a Ryan Cowden who's taking over. I don't know anything about him. I'm saying someone like that. a number 2 or a number 3, whoever John Robinson's number 2 or number 3 is, fire him, get another guy in there. Give John Robinson another person in his ear in the draft room, because again, it is John Robinson's final decision. But even though he watches a lot of tape, he doesn't watch everybody. There are people that watch tape for him and give him reports. He can't watch every player in the league, not only in the NFL, because you have to scout every player in the NFL just in case they're up for trade, just in case they're available for picking up in the waiver wire, just in case they're available in any sort of way whatsoever. And not only do you have to scout them, every year you have to scout hundreds of players in the draft. There's no way John Robinson is able to view this many people in the draft and in the league currently. Because not only, look, I can sit here and I can remember, okay, yeah, you know that guy that plays for the Colts, let's say, what's a good example? Oh, Paris Campbell, that's a good name. If I have not been paying attention this season, if you tell me the name Paris Campbell, I'd be like, what about Paris Campbell? He hasn't done anything. Well, no, this year he's actually playing decently well. And you should look at him in free agency, John. John's like, oh, okay, let me look at him. So we should have replaced some of those people, spice it up, inject them, and then see what happens next season. And if it was still struggling, then I would consider moving on from John. And even then, I would have just considered, depending how the season went. If it went terribly, then I would have fired. But I thought he had another at least bad season in him. So I can't believe he fired him. I think you have to fire the number 2, the number 3, the number 4 before you fire the number 1. You don't have to necessarily fire the number 1. It's like firing the offensive coordinator before you fire the head coach. The head coach is performing well. No one's asking for Vrabel's job, but we are asking for Downing. I don't think we should have been asking for John Robinson's job. I think we should have been asking for his offensive coordinator, his vice president of player personnel, his vice president of draft personnel or college scouting, let me say. So anyway, so who takes his place? I don't know. We're going to find out. Right now it's Cowden. Is he going to remain in there? I don't know. Would I want him to? I don't know. I don't know what he's done. I don't know if he's been the guy telling Robinson not to do these things, and that's why he's being promoted, the mistakes that he's made. Or I don't know if he was one of Robinson's yes men and he's going to come in here and do the same thing. I don't know. I imagine not, because they probably wouldn't keep him. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be interesting, but thank you for the super chat. And then there was another super chat by you. Let me scroll down and get to that one. Mike Rosario also gave another super chat. And he says he thinks that it's more about the contracts. Can't forgive Beasley and Dupree's a bust because he doesn't play. Yeah, Beasley was bad, but that's on him. He just mentally checked out. He just mentally was weak. Although it was a shady contract though, because he only had one good year, and we bet on that one good year. But, you know, the thing about the contracts, though, we haven't had cap problems. Like, we're usually up against the cap, but, like, not more than any other team. I don't think cap is our problem. There's years sometimes I wish we had a little more money, but at the end of the day, you make your bread and butter mostly in the draft anyway. So I don't think the cap's been bad. I think it could be better, but there's a lot of bad contracts in the NFL. So I'm not really worried about the cap like that. So, yeah. And then also, he says, we don't know about the Jeff contract, but it sounds like we're lowballing like we did AJ. And yeah, and that's a bit on him, but that's not only on him because, and let me see, do they still have this guy in the Titans front office? I think they might have canned him a long time ago. But this guy, there's a specific duty of someone that is in charge of the money mostly. And let me see if I can find his name. Yeah, this Vin Marino, he's still here. So this guy, Vin Marino, he is the guy that normally is there when you see the players signing their contracts. He's involved in negotiations. Why is he still there? If anyone can tell me why this Vin Marino is still a part of the Tennessee Titans. He's been a part of this franchise for over a decade. He's in his 16th season, his 12th as Vice President of Football Administration. Marino's listen to this. Marino's primary responsibilities include the management of the Titans salary cap in player contract negotiations. Look at this, Vin Marino. So wait a minute. Why is it that this guy is not fired? Okay, can anyone explain to me why this guy, Vin Marino, let me put up a picture of this guy. If anyone can explain to me why this Vin Marino is not fired, I would love to hear. I would love to hear why this guy is not canned. He has been with this for 12 seasons. He's been in charge of the vice president of football administration. Primary responsibilities include the Titans salary cap and player contract negotiations. So wait a minute. If we are complaining about our contract negotiations, then why is this guy not canned? Okay? Why is he not the first one to go? That is shady. Okay? And that is a shady thing that doesn't make any sense to me. So I need information on that. I need information on that. Because if we keep complaining, why don't we pay Corey Davis? Why don't we pay Adoree Jackson? Why don't we pay A.J. Brown? Why are we paying Jeffrey Simmons? Why is this happening? And yet this guy's still in there for 12 years. Why is he still there? As everyone comes and goes, as Malarkey comes and goes, as Munchak comes and goes, as Ralston Webster comes and goes, as John Robinson comes and goes, and yet this guy remains. As Jeff Fisher coming, this guy's been here since Jeff Fisher. This guy probably was part of the Haynesworth. He's been here for so long. Well, maybe not. So that's more than 12 years ago. But still, I mean, this is just, it's unbelievable. Now, the Haynesworth worked out for us. I'm not going to say it didn't. But, yeah, very interesting. Okay. But, yeah, thank you for the super chat, Michael Rosario. Yeah, there's some shady dealings going on in this front office, man. Shady, shady, shady. All right, we move on. There's another super chat that popped up. Got to get to that. Damn, it is a busy chat today. Oh boy. Zoe Almighty, thank you for the super chat. Zoe Almighty, he says, how will this affect Derrick Henry's future? I don't know. So he has one more year left next year on his deal. I don't know, because I don't know who the next GM is going to be. I don't know what his philosophy is going to be. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting. That much is going to be for sure. And I'm very interested to see because, I still believe in, look, I know there's the Malik Willis fans out there. And look, we still have to see how this guy continues to progress or not. I think we're in quarterback no man's land as of right now. People are already saying that, hey, we need to go into next season and we need to cut Tannehill to save $18 million. And Malik Willis needs to be our quarterback one. That is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. If we go into next season with Malik Willis as our quarterback one and he did not earn it, then we are in big trouble. From everything that I've seen of him, we are in big trouble. Look, he was a third-round pick. If he never starts, I'm fine with that. I'm literally fine with that. I'm not going to lose any sleep. But now we are in a very interesting position. And I don't even know if I like Rodgers anymore. But if you could do a Tannehill-Rodgers switch for next year, would you do it? Now, I think you'd have to get better weapons here because otherwise it's going to look the way it looked in Green Bay. But I think it'd buy us some time. I think he's going to go like 2 more years. And I'd consider it. I considered it even before this year. Brady for a year. I don't know about that. 46. Jesus. I know he had a hell of a drive last night, but 46. Jesus. I don't know about that. But, yeah, 46. Now, I don't think he can keep going out after this year. I mean, he's performing fine, but yeah, I don't know about 46, yo. We're going to have more conversations about that. I don't want to spend too much time on that. We're going to have plenty of time to discuss all that. But yeah, we're gonna see how this affects Derrick Henry's future for sure. All right, so I'm gonna get to some more comments and then get out of here because again, I am on my lunch break and I've already been going for like 40 minutes, so I only have like, and I do want to eat a little bit. Well, I guess I can eat on the job. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. I only work at my desk anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna read the comments that have at me in the chat at Sports for Entertainment. Pablo P says at Sports for Entertainment, I think this shows that Amy chose Vrabel over J. Rob, and that she was done with just being good. J.R.'s mistake ruined the Super Bowl window. You know, I agree, but he created the Super Bowl window. So that's my one problem. And again, look, one of the things that didn't work out was a Julio Jones trade. We wanted it. And he just couldn't stay healthy. And, you know, ultimately, I don't think that's why we lost. I think that was on Tannehill. Again, he was on Tannehill. But, you know, that's one of the things that we wanted, and he got us. Ivermectin Patience says, as Sport Entertainment, do you think this could mean Mike Vrabel gets more same personnel? Do you think that will go more like Bill Belichick or Bill O'Brien? Now, this is my theory. I agree with you. I think this is a bad idea. I think this is a really bad idea. Mike Vrabel, look, I think he's a smart guy. I don't know if he's a personnel guy. I don't know if he's a scout guy. Belichick, yes. Now, Belichick, it's not working out lately, by the way, with him as a scout. They're not drafting well at all. N'Keal Harry, my God. So I don't know if that's even working out. Bill O'Brien, yeah, absolutely not. And I don't know, Mike Vrabel just seems like a on the football field football coach. I don't know how much say I want him to have in person. I think he should have a say, but I think we need a proper GM who's been a scout, who has scouted heavily for years, than Mike Vrabel, who's just been a football coach for like 10 years. It's only been like 10 years he's been a football coach, maybe even less. So I think probably less. So I think that's a mistake. If you say that this guy needs to have so much personnel decision making, I think that's a mistake. Now, I think he's right that we should have looked for some left tackles this season, and we're foolish for not doing so. And I think he's right. We should reward some of these players with some contracts and keep them around. But I don't know. He's not a scout, guys. I mean, I think he can watch tape. I don't think he's a scout at heart. You want a scout at heart as your general manager, someone that just loves scouting, loves watching college players, loves diving deep into even high school players, loves being on the ground, touring the country, scouting. I don't know, man. I don't know if he's all that. So I think if we're going to really lean on him for that, I think that's a mistake. All right, Jack Longley says, is it possible Robinson was defending Downing? I'm wondering how often Vrabel disagreed on draft picks and didn't show it. I don't know why Robinson would be defending Downing. Maybe they're boys, but I think Vrabel and Downing are boys. So I don't know about that. I don't think that's likely. Enrod740 says, Vrabel about to be a coach GM. It's possible, but again, I think that's a mistake. I think only a few people, and I'm talking just Belichick, and even then he shouldn't be doing it anymore. I think he needs a GM over him now. I think only Belichick, maybe McVay. Even McVay doesn't even do it. Les Snead is a GM, and McVay is a scout. I think this is a Sean McDermott, Brandon Beane situation. Brandon Beane is a GM, McDermott's the coach. I think Vrabel needs a GM. I think he's not a GM. I think he's opinionated. I don't think he's a GM. So I think that's a mistake if he becomes really much like a coach GM. All right. At Sports for Entertainment, Alex Mann says, Downing sticking around could have been all on J-Rob. That might be why Amy let him go. You guys have some interesting theories on that. This doesn't make sense. If she wanted him gone, Downing, because of his DUI, well, then why is he not gone now? Okay, get rid of J-Rob and then get rid of him. Get rid of them both. Okay, in a succinct move. Bye, you're both gone. I don't think that has anything to do. If she wanted Downing gone, Downing would be gone. She only has to make one call for Downing to be gone. Vrabel, Downing's gone. And then he's gone. Okay, she's still writing the checks around there. Zach Cripps says, "As Sports Entertainment, go fill out an application for the job." Oh, I will. You already know I'm throwing my hat in the ring. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Just don't watch my Deshaun Watson scouting report, or my Patrick Mahomes scouting report, or my Lamar Jackson scouting report, or my Josh Allen scouting report. And then, maybe I'll be up for consideration. I wasn't off on all of them. I just think they were going to be as good as they are. Minecraft God 6. I was right about a couple of people, though. I was right about Herbert. Right about Tua so far. Tua's good. Right about Fields. I never thought he was going to be that good. Right about Daniel Jones is exactly what I thought he was going to be. Right about Kyler. Been right about a lot. Been wrong about a lot. All right. Anyway, Minecraft guy says, 69 says, tank for Caleb Williams. So you're talking about tanking next year. Look, I don't know. If you want to start Malik Willis and just tank it, then fine. But if we go down that road, look, now you're talking about an aged Derrick Henry. I want to see what he looks like next season. You might need to move on. You're talking about if this continues, and again, I mean, we're gonna win this week against Jacksonville, and we're gonna win the division. I just don't see this team regressing that much. I still think there's too much talent for us to even be up in the running for Caleb Williams. I just believe that, unfortunately. And I mean, not unfortunately because I want to be that bad. I mean, unfortunately because I really want a Caleb Williams. And it sucks, yo, because we have Mahomes. Now you got Burrow. Burrow's now next to Mahomes as like the two of the top three quarterbacks in the league, top five. I'll still say Burrow, but Burrow, at this point, you can say he's top three. I know this is a debate. You still got Lamar, and then you got Herbert. You got the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 4 in the AFC. Thank God Russell Wilson fell off. So how are we going to compete with these guys with Tannehill and Willis? I mean, how's it going to get done? That is going to be, figuring out that puzzle is going to be it should keep the next GM up at night because it costs this GM his job. Going with Tannehill costs this GM his job because Tannehill didn't show up for him in the playoffs. And if he did, we wouldn't be having this conversation. All right. I'll answer one more, and then we're going to get out of here. Andre Bunting says, as Sport Entertainment, something seems off since this happened now and effective immediately, unless she wants fresh hours before the draft. Look, I would understand if it was like maybe, I don't know, dude. I don't even remember a team firing their GM while they're in the playoffs ever. I just don't remember anything like this. I literally do not remember anything like this. So for a team to be over 500, for a team to be, oh, and I forgot Josh Allen as well, as one of those quarterbacks. Jesus Christ. We have to compete against Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Lamar, and Herbert. Jesus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But yeah. So I just can't remember anything like this. I really cannot remember anything like this. For you to be above 500, to be in your division lead, and to fire your general manager, it's crazy. It's I've never seen anything like this. I was shocked this morning, absolutely shocked. After 2 straight losses, granted, but you were 7-3 this season. You were 12-5 last season. It's incredible. It's shocking. And look, I'll also end on this, guys. Whoever this next GM is, man, he needs to stay. This idea of changing GMs, it's a bad idea. The best teams in the league keep their general managers for years. Okay, Russell Webster, we had to move on. But you got to keep your general managers, yo. This idea of rotating GMs, it's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. So hopefully next one we get it right. We're going to discuss, as names come out, thoughts on them, eventually who we hire. I'd imagine we might even hire someone before the end of the season. I think maybe, I'm not going to guarantee that. It could still be in January. But yeah, I mean, the search is on. General Manager John Robinson, J-Rob, May he rest in peace. Until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.